I'm feeling so sharp right now. I brought in a new team, new strength and conditioning coaches, new nutritionists. So this is the best I've.
Jake Paul has done it again, hyping up his next big fight as if he's already crowned the undisputed champion. Classic Jake living in his bubble where every matchup is a guaranteed win. But this time, his
Jake Paul, it's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check.
Opponent isn't a retired athlete or an overhyped YouTuber. It's Andrew Tate. Yes, the kickboxing champion, internet provocateur, and multi-millionaire who doesn't need a boxing paycheck. Sorry, Jake, but your chances here are hovering at zero.
Because there's a lot of pressure, because you're putting your ego on the line. And secondly, because you have to dedicate yourself to a training camp completely and fully. You can't just do one pad session and put it on the fucking internet and talk about being a fighter. You need to dedicate yourself and try hard and set a date where you have a fair competition against another man and put it on the line.
Dream big, but those dreams won't save you when Tate steps into the ring. This isn't about staged hype or Instagram personas. Tate isn't interested in Jake's antics. He's here to make a point and shut him up for good. Jake's false bravado won't hold up against someone with real experience, and when the punches start flying, it'll be brutal. Tate is ready to dismantle Jake.
Nobody's sitting down right now. For good reason. We have not only champions of the past, we have world champions of the present. Marissa Shields in the building.
And honestly, we can't wait. House arrest or not, Tate is stepping into this fight with a purpose. Jake, prepare to lose, and lose badly. Jake Paul is at it again, parading around with another overhyped spectacle that screams, "Look at me," rather than "I'm a serious athlete." His carnival act is wearing thin, and nobody's buying it anymore, least of all me. Let's rewind for a second. Andrew Tate called Jake out years ago, back when Jake was throwing limp punches at YouTubers and pretending to revolutionize boxing. And what did Jake do? Ghosted. Didn't even glance Tate's way. Fast forward to 2024, and now Jake suddenly sees a golden opportunity. Or should I say a golden payday. Tate's name has blown up. His controversies have turned him into a household sensation, and Jake smells money like a shark smells blood.
Because you managed to become a fucking clown! The biggest clown on the fucking internet!
But here's the catch. Andrew Tate has been under house arrest for 6 months. 6 months without stepping into a gym, let alone a boxing ring. The man is legally stuck in his Romanian mansion, while Jake's out flexing in Miami, hyping this up like it's some epic fair showdown. Super brave of you, Jake, to call out a guy who literally can't leave his driveway. Calling this a fight feels generous. Let's just call it what it really is. A calculated cherry pick dressed up as a blockbuster event. Jake Paul is...
I'm on month 6 of house arrest so far, and we'll see how long this continues for, so I'm going to have to miss it, unfortunately.
And even trying to hide it. He's all over social media, hyping this up like it's the fight of the century. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate, housebound and all, still exudes more confidence than Jake has shown in his entire career. Tate outright claimed he could beat Jake with just 6 months of training. And while Tate's stuck in his mansion, Jake's been boxing for years and still struggles to win, unless his opponent is older than his dad or coming out of retirement. Let's be real, Jake is banking on Tate's legal situation keeping him at a disadvantage because Jake doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, no, I think deep down he wants me to win 100%, but
he wants a guarantee. As for the fight's massive potential, Tate estimated it could draw 1.5 million pay-per-view buys, raking in $90 million in revenue. Sounds huge, right? But don't get it twisted. Tate's fan base isn't just large, it's fiercely loyal. The man could probably sell tickets to a thumb wrestling match. Meanwhile, Jake's fans seem more interested in the drama and memes than his actual boxing skills. Jake Paul might have millions of followers, but how many are really buying into his so-called boxing career? Let's not even start on his track record. Jake has built his entire career on fighting opponents who are retired, untrained, or just there for a paycheck. His 7-1 record might look respectable on paper, but dig deeper, and it's a parade of cherry-picked fights. Remember when he fought a 47-year-old Anderson Silva, or turned Tyron Woodley, a former UFC champion, into a meme? And now he's lined up Andrew Tate, a guy who hasn't fought professionally.
Some of my idols, Anderson Silva, to win Knockout of the Year, cover of Sports Illustrated. Like, I've accomplished my goals and beyond.
In years and can't even train properly. Bravo, Jake. Truly groundbreaking stuff. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate's combat sports resume makes Jake look like he belongs in a backyard wrestling league. Tate is a 4-time kickboxing world champion with over 40 professional wins. His fights were about winning titles, not boosting a YouTube channel. Jake's boxing, on the other hand, started as a joke and hasn't evolved much since. The gap in experience between...
If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life.
Between them is laughable. Yet Jake somehow thinks this fight will cement his legacy. Spoiler, it won't. Here's the funniest part, the social media war. Sure, Jake Paul might have more followers, but Andrew Tate's audience is on another level. They're not just followers, they're an army. They show up, engage, and dominate the narrative. Jake's fans, on the other hand, seem more interested in roasting him than genuinely supporting him. Good luck winning the PR battle, Jake. You're going to need it. The pay-per-view projections for Jake's rumored fight with Andrew Tate are just as inflated as his ego. Tate boldly claims the fight could draw 1.5 million PPV buys, and of course Jake is nodding along like he's already cashed the checks. At $60 a pop, that's a jaw-dropping $90 million in PPV revenue alone. Add $5 million from gate sales and $10 million from sponsorship deals, and we're looking at over $100 million for a fight that's more hype than substance. Impressive, right? Sure. If you're into...
Probably like 1.5 million pay-per-view buys at like $60. So like 90 million just in pay-per-views, and then probably like another $5 million in gate, and then like $10 million in sponsorships. So like
thanks for the subs.
$105 million.
Overpriced, glorified sparring sessions that leave fans regretting wasting their hard-earned cash. Jake's PPV strategy has been criticized as everything from exploitative to disappointing, and this fight looks no different. Outright scammy. That's the only way to describe Jake Paul's pay-per-view strategy, and fans are fed up. Shelling out $60 to watch Jake hop around the ring pretending he's the second coming of Muhammad Ali is getting old. His opponents are either plucked out of retirement or clearly unprepared. But
I'm feeling so sharp right now. I brought in a new team, new strength and conditioning coaches, new nutritionists. So this is the best I've...
Why offer a legitimate fight when selling a fantasy is so much easier? Jake knows his audience isn't paying for boxing. They're paying for the drama, and somehow he keeps getting away with it. As for the training camps for this epic matchup, they're shaping up to be as theatrical as the fighters themselves. Jake's Miami sessions look more like a fitness influencer's photo shoot than serious boxing preparation. Sun-soaked beaches, flashy gyms, and a flood of Instagram-worthy moments. Because nothing says serious fighter like perfectly curated selfies. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate is claiming he'll train in the mountains of Bosnia for 6 months, spinning a gritty narrative straight out of a Rocky montage. Sure, Tate, you're...
Because if I were to fight Jake, I'd have to take it very seriously. It'd be a 6-month training camp. I'd have to go to the mountains of Bosnia and not do much else. So...
And maybe Jake will start sparring polar bears in Alaska. Both are selling a story, but let's be real. Jake's version looks more like a reality show than a Rocky sequel. When it comes to fight styles, Jake Paul, at 26, has youth and those heavy power punches in his corner. Beyond that, though, he's all bark and no bite. His strategy is simple. Swing wildly and pray for a knockout. Meanwhile, Andrew Tate, a 4-time kickboxing world champion, brings years of experience, precision, speed, and a mental edge Jake could only dream of. If this fight actually happens, it won't just be a physical battle. It'll be a mental game, and Jake's mental game, about as sharp as a butter knife. Then there's the sparring offer. Andrew Tate, house arrest and all, invited Jake to Romania for a private sparring session. Tate even floated the idea that the session alone could make millions, even if the footage never sees the light of day. It's a bold move, but hilariously ironic coming from someone who claims to be all about the fight. Jake, however, has been suspiciously silent. Maybe it's become
If it was that easy, like I said, Jake and I could spar, of course, but that video would be worth millions of dollars, so we can't just throw it on Twitter for free, because the whole world wants to see it.
Suspiciously silent. Maybe it's because sparring with Tate could expose the glaring weaknesses in his boxing skills. Jake's entire career is a carefully crafted illusion, and this fight, might just shatter it. Jake Paul's carefully crafted illusion could crumble in seconds if he accepted a sparring session with Andrew Tate. And fans aren't ignoring it. Tate's followers are in a frenzy, calling Jake a coward for ducking the challenge. Meanwhile, Jake's fans are scrambling to defend him, claiming sparring would give away too much of his strategy. Jake's version of strategy is swinging like he's in a bar fight and hoping for the best. There is nothing strategic about desperation. The buzz around this fight is exactly what Jake wants. Endless speculation, heated debates, and his name plastered across social media. But let's not ignore the pattern. Every time Jake hypes up a fight, it ends the same way. Negotiations mysteriously fall apart, and Jake blames everyone but himself. Whether it's KSI, Tommy Fury, or now Andrew Tate, Jake has mastered the art of building anticipation only to let fans down. It's his signature move, and this fight seems no different.